Greetings, fellow dwarves. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress Taming the Wilds, Episode 23, Library and Dungeon. The library should be quiet. Doesn't need to be. It could be rowdy. Also, if it's north of the tavern's here. This is not that. This is where north of the dorm. I could have it nested up near the edge of the map, so it's not a problem. Or some other sensible solution. I feel like people are slowly getting a little bit happier too. I think what I'm going to do is a burrow drill where I'm burrowing everyone inside, and then I will I'll pull up stakes and undraft my military. Where are you going? Yeah, because I have it suspended. There we go. So now, burrow mode is on. All of my dwarves should be burrowing. Nobody should be wandering out. And that means that I am going to off-duty both sets of military. Because if anyone comes to mess with me, I can just pull up the pasture bridge and not have to fight anyone. And that allows me to give them some R&R. Alright, north of the tavern. Got it. So there's a few different things that we have to consider for this project. And let me update the priority here. Build a library. So the actual process of building paper is something that we're going to need to do. So that usually starts with a stone quarn, and then you make slurry, and then you press the sheets, and then you make the scrolls, and then you make the queries, or however you pronounce it. I don't care. So what I think I'm going to do is have the actual paper making part of this project, and let me delete all this plan so it doesn't confuse people that are like tuning in and going, what is all this weird nonsense everywhere? So I'm going to have the actual paper making take place in this spot here, probably this spot, and then the actual library somewhat else. So let me try to actually plan this out so it looks a bit elegant, because we are doing a lot of this stuff for the aesthetics. So the furthest north I can mine is only up here. So I have a very limited amount of room going up. Noted. This is starting to look like a dwarf face, as it is already. So what if I set this up where we have the workshops for the paper here, and then the actual library, the codices around like a blanket on this little, like a helmet, but you know, looks very strange. Man, that looks super strange. I can dig it. And then we can have doors in at these locations. So this is the paper making industry, and then this is the library around it. And I'll probably not have it be like perfectly square. Just so it seems designed something like this. Noise is implemented for the game, but not like what you think. The things that make noise is mining, engraving, smoothing, and siege stuff, and not production. So this does not this isn't cause for alarm. Oh, extra peps? I'm sorry about your Your dog's emergency. That sounds... I had that happen to Echo a little bit. She split a toe when she was a pup. She went down like a playground slide and got hurt. Oh, I need a guild hall for the Farmers Guild. I predicted that. I guessed that. Because I saw that I had a lot of farmers joining, and I predicted that the Farmer Guild would be first. So the other thing I need to do is build a guild hall. So build a library and a guild hall. I did have a question about the guild hall. So above the... I could start making the guild halls below the bedrooms, but above the royal facilities. That was sort of the thought I had. Oh, you need 3 shields? God, I hate you. Hate royals, hate royals, hate royals. Armor, iron. I'm just gonna make crummy iron shields. I don't really care. Just trying to keep her happy. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start this level here. Elevation 33 is guild hall level. I did have a thought that it would be very cool if I had sort of a circular theme here, if I can pull it off. So bear with me, because I am very much a bad pixel artist. Kind of looking skull-like for now. So what a guild hall is once you have enough workers that work in a certain industry, they start to demand a special facility, a special meeting place for their guild members. So if you take a look at like labor, for instance, if I go to planters or to farmers, you can see I have a lot of plant gatherers, and they all belong to like the plant gatherers guild, and then they require a guild hall to meet. So this is sort of the circular spoken wheel design for where guild halls are going to go. And guild halls are very similar to the dedicated mini shrines, the mini temples. Same sort of concept, where you're going to have a lot of them. You're going to have multiple of them, and they're going to need to keep people happy. So yeah, we'll dig this out, and then I'll come up with a guild hall design that is that I can tessellate outwards. See, I'm using fancy words. Oh, Macho, thank you for the resub, and Anonymous for the tip. Thank you, Anonymous. And cheers to you both. If only I could easily come up with my own tessellations. I think what I'll do is I'll have it be really kind of wild. I'll have it fill in void space. Oh no, but the problem is I don't want double wall sharing. So now I'm probably confusing the heck out of all of you. So I'm going to have it be 2 gaps like this. So this is 4 up. So guild halls can be as simple as like a structure like this, like a little room like that. So that's 5, 5. Okay, so that I'm going to start excavating where guild halls are going to go. And this looks very dwarfish, I think. Just making sure that it... Oh, nope. There we go. Making sure it stays in relatively good symmetry. So this is space for the first 4 guild halls that I have. And then I'll tessellate outwards from here. So here's the entries. And then I'll just cap the hallways. And the center is just a special little design. All right, so guild halls. So over to the library. I'm going to set this also to a 4 for dig. And we'll start this library design. There. A strange little area. But it's fine. Works for me. And for now, the guild halls will probably just be engraved, and then the library is just going to be smooth to keep things affordable. Also, the tavern, I'm going to update the tavern zone and not have the tavern zone be in this back hallway. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense to have it back there anymore. If I need additional dorm rooms, I can always have it be layered in layer up or down. Up would even make a lot of sense because that's where our dining room is. We'll see if that becomes a requirement. Or a desire. Kevish, you Dwarven child, you don't have a slab yet. I do owe you that. We'll smooth your tomb out, and I'm going to smooth the adjacent tombs so that they're dwarf ready as well. I do feel like there's a trend of people getting happier, though. My unhappy and super unhappy levels were a lot worse a little while ago. Really? You want shields and ballista parts? Man, you are just the fussiest. If you don't allow guests in the tavern anymore, how do they get a guest dormitory? It's just when we do allow them, you know. I'll eventually open it back up. The door's in. So we almost have all those shields that she demanded made. Part of me just wants to melt them down the minute I'm done making them. Be like, technically I fulfilled your request, and melt. One more thing I'm going to do, and a dungeon. Now that our population is growing, we're going to need a dungeon. So I'm going to start prepping where that dungeon's going to be. I'm going to keep it really simple. Just a simple little 7x7 for now. If I could count, which seems to be a problem. There, it's bigger. It's 9x9 or whatever. And just so it looks somewhat designed. There. Little dungeon. Built a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so the excavation for the actual physical library is done. Then we're going to have the excavation for the the library production, the slurry and press and whatnot. I do need to fire up the stills again. Because I see that the alcohol drink is, it's not dangerously low, but we could add to it. And then Guild Hall, I'm going to set this on F6. So I can easily get to it. My stone smoothers work pretty fast. Because one's legendary and the other are professional. That's good. And here's the production facilities. Oh, and a new caravan. So I'm eager to see... Well, I guess we've already seen the caravan enter. A caravan enter. But now that I'm actually burrowed... Where are they? Yep, here they come. It looks neat. I definitely need a lot of leather, and I'm hoping they're bringing in leather. I did ask for it, so pretty much guaranteed to bring it. So let me get some trade goods set up so I can buy that lovely leather. I don't have a lot of stuff to hunt on this map tile, so I rely on imported leather. And I haven't really been growing pigtails or any other fabrics, any other plants to be able to turn into cloth. And I don't have a lot of cavern access, so I'm not collecting spider webs for spider silk, so I rely upon imported goods for now. That will change as population goes up and I have more of a military. So the first thing I want to do is to get a stone quarn in so that we can make plant slurry, which is one of these, right? Mash plant into slurry. But I'm going to put the quarn over on the other one. So I'm going to make 2 rock quarns. And I'm going to make them out of jet. So that they're purpley black. Just so they look cooler. I don't know. That's the only justification I can give. Okay, you don't need to stand there yet. They're still unpacking. A bunch of, what's inaccessible? I think a lot of the, yeah, so they're trying to stockpile wood, but because I have them burrowed, they can't get to it. Let me check if any of my military groups are ready to be, redutied. So Icelandic, Polar Bear, and Zank Dyer. Let's check your moods. Polar Bear is super mad. Not you. Then the Axe Killers. That would be Mass, Zack, and Megahoof. Yep, so the Axe Killers are ready to go back on duty, I think. So I'm going to put them on train. And then that means that I can unburrow once they're armored up. Someone said it's a lot slower to use quarns over millstones. Yeah, millstones have to be powered though, so initially I'm just going to be quarn. Once I get windmills or water wheels, I'll do millstones, but yeah, millstones is a powered quarn, and I don't have any power sources. My map does have wind, I already know that. And obviously I have water because I have a brook running through. And it would be easy to channel out. It's just for the first iteration of the library, I don't require that much queries and scripts or sheets of paper. So it's not, I don't need to design a system that accommodates a high volume number. Diplomacy. Bring back cow leather. They want me to sell cloth? Yeah, that's kind of the wrong direction, friend. This is weird. My happy little tree, my broker, is having a meeting literally in the trade spot, but isn't technically trading. She's just chatting. She's chatting one of them up and... Come on. Please trade. Alright. Well, she'll get there eventually. So, for the Quarns... What is that? Workshop? Farming? Yeah. There's my 2 Quarns. My jet Quarns. And here we go. Any cage stuff that I want? A turkey hen, sure. A bush tit. Do I want a kestrel? Yeah, sure. 3 birds. So I'm going to need to make more nest boxes. So many weapons you bring. You do know I have 3 legendary weaponsmiths in my colony. I kind of don't need you to import weapons for me. Dude, you're hunting hammerhead sharks for leather? A little overeager, aren't you? You know, you can just kill cows. It's the same leather. But okay. I'll buy a hammerhead shark leather. They brought a lot of textiles, which is great, because that will keep me clothed. And then the rest is meat, plants, stuff I don't really care about. I could just outright buy sheets to jumpstart the library. Might as well, because they're not overpriced. They're reasonable-ish. And there we go. We have about 2K's worth of stuff to buy. I can't believe how willing they are to buy porcelain junk for things that are actually useful, like leather. I suppose humans don't dig for clay. Although you can gather clay from, like, the shore, too. So the fact that porcelain is valuable is just kind of hilarious to me. Because it's an infinitely resourceable resource. I guess they just suck. They suck on the kiln. So the Quarns, I would want a plant stockpile near my Quarn. So another reason to keep the Quarn or the processing kind of near this stockpile is this raw food stockpile is where we have things that can be mashed into seeds. And eventually it might even be reasonable to have our millstone be up here in this room to mash for plant slurry, and then to have the plant slurry hauled down here for further processing. But this is where you would mash plant to slurry, and I'm going to do it twice, just as an example. And then after that, we're going to want screw presses. So let's make a screw press. Rock. Oh, I need nest boxes too, right? While I'm staring at this. So the birds I just bought. But if we did want a millstone, it'd be here. But that's not the route I'm going first. So screw press. Is that what, a rock? Screw press? Nope. Where do you build those on? Is that just straight mechanisms? Let's see. Workshop. Farming. Oops. Misclick. Yeah, all right. So I already have a screw press made of shell mechanisms. Okay, so it is just mechanisms. And I'm just forgetting what submenu it's in. Screw pump, gear assembly. It was there? Oh yeah, there it is. Screw presses. 1 and 2. So these guys are, oh, we just did the slurry. So this was pigtail slurry and rope reed slurry. And then you can screw press the slurry into sheets. And I'll set up stockpiles once this is set up. And then after that, you, at a crafts workshop, you make scrolls. And then for longer works at a crafts workshop, you make queries. So that's down here. Choir or whatever. And then scroll is here as well. But it requires scroll rollers. So rock. Scroll roller made out of shale. I'll make 2 of them. Mr. Bowski, thanks for the gifted sub. And Macho, if I didn't say thank you already, thank you for the resub. Looks like I have enough alcohol to fill the tavern again, so let's pause these. And check in on the... Okay, so the guild hall has not even been touched yet. Like, no mining, which is kind of surprising. What about the dungeon? Nope, not yet either. Webster, thank you for the resub. So here's the screw press. Can you smooth underneath the screw press? Okay, you can. So the screw press then can press plant slurry into a paper sheet. And I'll do that twice because I have some slurry. And then those paper sheets can be turned into scrolls and choirs, or however you pronounce it. Again, I don't care. You'd be surprised how many YouTube comments are like, you're pronouncing that wrong. It's like, yeah, potash or potash. You know what I mean. Yes, it's technically potash, but I'm not a paper maker. I've never worked in a paper mill. And I have... I basically just don't care. For things like potash and pearl ash, I get it. They're like real things. But I think I've received at least a dozen comments of like, you're pronouncing mechanator wrong. It's like, it's a made-up word that got made up like last month. And you still know what I mean. So why does it matter this much? I do not comprehend this at all. But there we go. Pigtail sheets. That's our first sheet that we made. Of course, I bought a whole bunch, so it doesn't really matter. Eventually, what I'll do is I'll have stockpiles for that stuff as well, so that all the ingredients are stored in this area. So we are going to want some craft dwarves workshops here. So I'll put them... Oops, I want to select the material. I'll put them here as well and have them specify what they're allowed to make here. So I'll make them out of jet. What do they think that mechanator should supposed to sound like? Like janitor. Mechator or something. I don't even. The amount that I care cannot be described because it is infinitely too small. Is, I think, my answer to how to pronounce a made-up word. Yep. So the work orders here, specifically added for this shop, are going to be scrolls and make scrolls So here's the new Craftsdwarf Workshop scroll order. So the scrolls are going to be left, and the choirs are on the right. So make one scroll when we have less than 10 scrolls. When we have scroll rollers greater than 1, and sheets greater than, or I'll have 2. Greater than 2, greater than 2. Okay, and then this is going to be the and not allow general work orders at all. This is going to be the scrolls workshop. And then same deal over here. Make choir. Make one of them when choirs are less than 10 and sheets are greater than 10. And there they are. And then I also want scrollers. Do I need one scroll roller? Are scroll rollers reusable, I guess? Let me look that up. No, because they would be inside, right? Yeah, okay. So let's make sure that we have scroll rollers too. So rock scroll rollers. Make one when we have less than 10. And then make them out of shale. All right, cool. So we have that all set up. How has your dwarf been doing? Oh, I have no idea. You're not part of the colony anymore. You got the old boot for being fuss. Like, immediately. This is like the second thing I did in the stream. I decided that the speed of progression outweighed the need for one whiny dwarf. Ah! But seriously. Alright, so then we have those specialized work orders on the scrolls and choir workshops. I need more rollers. Well, I'll drop it to 1, because it really only needs to be 1. But that means that all I need left for the library is some storage, and then we're good. So in here, we want... I'm not going to bother keeping the plants here. I'm not going to move them out of the kitchen. So that's going to require a little bit of hauling from this stockpile down to the quarns, but that's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a stockpile of slurry. So this is going to be plant slurry. And it occurs to me that I have no idea where plant slurry is. I don't know what sub... Oh, here it is. Well, that's some of the slurry. Is this all the slurry? Yeah. So that's just what can be slurried? Is that right? Alright, hypothetically, cotton, hemp, jute, canaf, linen, pigtail, ramie, and rope reed can be slurried. So there we go. We have the plant slurry. I don't know if the slurry is allowed anywhere else. Let me check here. Yeah, so we disallowed the slurry and paste in the food stockpile. So hopefully the slurry goes there. And I think the proof of that would be for me to slurry some more stuff up. So I'll do 6 more slurry just so that we can actually see the slurry there. And then I want the sheets in the middle. So I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. And paint it like this. So that's the plant slurry. And then for sheets, I'll put them here. And it occurs to me, I have no idea where sheets are. Oh, well, I found them. That was easy. And parchment is just leather sheets, I believe. So those sheets and the slurry. Cool. Library, right? That is the big one. So meeting area. Let's try to paint by numbers. I did make it non-rectangular, so it takes a little bit extra time. That look about right? Yep. And this is going to be a new library. The Hall of Learning. So in here, we would want writing material stored in coffers, and then potentially to hire a scribe and a scholar. So let's get some coffers in here, and I'm going to want to put the coffers close to the door so that the materials can be delivered quickly. And then I'm also going to want tables and chairs and bookcases so that we can actually do the scripture. So for now, I'll just do maybe around the corner. Furniture, table. You know what I could do is a cubby holes. I like that idea. I'll eventually incorporate that idea so that there's like like a private library areas, but not for the first pass of this. The first pass is the rough pass, and that does not get nice. Okay, so there's thrones and the tables, and then I also need to make bookcases. Rock bookcases, and we'll make them out of microsilene, so they'll be blue. Give a little bit of flavor color in there. Oh, someone fleeing. A crossbowman. Whoa, there was a lot of them. Look at them. Oh, did they kill someone? But you're human, right? Who are you? Did you kill someone? Wait, you came in to mess with me and my guard dog didn't say peep? A3, it'll roll. Yeah, I think you... I don't know what's going on. Who are you? Yeah, you're a mangled corpse, but are you one of mine? No, it's human blood. So, someone died, obviously. I don't know who. I didn't even get a fighting Oh, no. Yeah, I did get a fighting notification. So what happened to you? You were fighting another human. And a human killed you. I wasn't a pet hounds. It was just human on human action. Maybe the human caravan that was leaving killed them on their way out. That would be my assumption. One of the things I find really challenging in Dwarf Fortress is to figure out what the hell's going on. Like in RimWorld, it's very clear. And in Dwarf Fortress, I feel confused often. I'm new to the game, which is one of the big reasons, but also, like, I just find it difficult. A lot of the information in Dwarf Fortress is not presented on a surface level. It's very presented, like, in layers, and you have to dig. And that's one of the things that really confuses me. But I just noticed, look at my happiness, dudes. 3717. we are happier than we are sad now. I'm doing something right, I think. Maybe a half pat on my back, not a full pat. It feels like just a light slap. But I will light slap for that. Do I not have a work order for mechanisms? No, I do. Shell mechanisms make 3 when we have less than 10. Okay, I'm raising that minimum number up because we haven't made this screw press and I don't know what it's holding up. Oh, we got migrants. So our population is now above 50 for the first time, meaning that we are not a hamlet pretty soon. We're going to be a village. So the title of the growing a hamlet into a village, I have succeeded that with a little bit of time to spare. I know I play very slow, but technically I got there in time. I also purchased some animals, so let's put them in the nesting. So you look like a bird, and you two are birds. Let's see. We have a woodcutter that came in. They already got allotted the woodcutter task. We have a blacksmith, new arrival. That's good, because our blacksmith that we had was self-trained and might not be... No, the one that came in sucks. Well, you're adequate. No, you're better. Pro Knight, you're fired. Deucem, congratulations. Who else do we get? Woodcutter, blacksmith... Another farmer, a miller, a peasant, and a child. And they're not done. Population is still growing. They come in one at a time. One of the things you got to do is you have to have a great hall or a meeting area so that your immigrants or migrants have somewhere to go. Otherwise, they just get stuck entering. So we got another miner. Who's adequate, that's fine. We have a Marksdwarf. One of the peasants is a competent Marksdwarf, so I'm going to have him hunt. Ficod, Athaluir, or whatever your name is. He's also a master at something. So some of these people that are unfamiliar, I want to do a vampire check. I put it in quotes because I'm not going to be too careful. But generally speaking, people that are way too talented that just show up need to be checked for whether or not I think that they're a vampire. And if they are, to physically isolate them and to see if they become thirsty. Because vampires won't die of thirst. They just get tired. So this farmer is a legendary herbalist, but has no combat skills and no social skills to speak of, so it's probably not a vampire. Who was the other one? This peasant. So this peasant, you're a competent Marksdwarf, you're a novice speaker, you're a legendary tracker. No, I don't think you're a vampire either. What I'm looking for is fairly decent at combat, fairly decent at speaking and persuasion things, and then way more talented than he has every right to be at his age, with more relationships or children that he has a right to be at his age. So a Ficod here was what a vampire would look like, would be someone that had a lot of combat skills and a lot of social skills for their age, and someone who had a lot more children and a lot more governmental relationships for their age. So you're looking for someone that says, let's say they say they're 32, but they have grandkids. Yeah, that's a big red flag. It's no, you're not 32. You're immortal. You're a vampire. Something like that. So there isn't usually a big red flag unless you catch them in the act sucking blood that they're a vampire. But there will be a lot of tells. So I'm just looking for the tells. And one of the tells is blinking names. Because blinking names means they're a legendary at something. And vampires typically, because they live for an eternity, have the opportunity to become legendary at tasks. Yep. But I'm not doing a hard check for vampirism. If you wanted a hard check for vampirism, what you would do is you would, every single immigrant that entered your colony, you would burrow, lock down, and then check to see if they get thirsty. Because if they get thirsty, they're a dwarf. If they don't get thirsty, well, you better worry. But I'm not doing that kind of hard check, because I'm not that paranoid. Alright, so back to what I was doing. So here's the plant slurry. Sweet. And then the sheets, I don't have any. So let's press a sheet. And then in these coffers, we don't have any material yet. But we are working on it. So setting up a library, you need to create a room from the meeting area, which I already did. Then increase the desired number of writing materials to, let's say, 20. And then build bookcases, tables, and chairs. And then eventually I'll designate scholars. So we still just need the bookcases. How plausible would it be a vampire playthrough in DF? It'd be plausible, depending on your opportunity, right? Because there's no telling like how long it takes for anyone to enter as a vampire, unless you use third-party cheats to force it. So who else is new? Let me go through the labor and make sure that everybody that should be assigned labor is... So plant gatherers, I'll assign a few more. Herbalists. Wow, we have a lot of okay plant gatherers. Stone cutters look good. Engravers look good. Anyone can be an orderly. Gem cutter, weaponsmith, blacksmith, armor smith, tailor, leather worker, bowyer, animal handler. We do have another potential animal handler, and those are the only jobs that have specific people. So what is the status on my bookshelves? Oh, we're starting to make them. Am I on the lookout for necromancers too? Hypothetically. I don't have any hamlets near me that scream, I am a necromancer. I'm surrounded by goblins, but not any, like, human necromancers where I've set up. And some elves. Yeah, there's nothing that screams necromancer to me around me. But they're a lot easier to spot because the dead would be walking. And that's just not the case. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress Taming the Wilds, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 17th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhodamont.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow dwarves.